talking about singing, the other night I went to Iron Maiden in
Nice.
here in Spokane, and I was blown away with Bruce Dickinson. He crushed it. He sounded so good. I was just like,
Yeah.
man, if in 15 years I can, be half, have half of that power. And it was actually really inspiring. It was great to see
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Wow. You still feel inspired to this day after performing so many years when you go see a really good show. That's interesting.
Oh yeah, yeah. For me, it's really helpful. It helps me see that because it's like,
Mm.
okay, there's something to strive for.
We've been seeing a lot of stuff in the rock news pretty much at the forefront having to do with the presence of tracks in live performances. And even with some artists, maybe the lack thereof of backing tracks. I'm just curious, how do you feel about this topic when it comes to live rock shows? Do you feel that there's any place for recorded tracks in a live show, or does that take away from the performance?
I think it depends on the degree to which you're utilizing it. At least for me, we wouldn't look the day I have to sing to track. If I mean, in terms of like not actually be singing, but lip syncing, then I'm hanging it up. I'm not going
Okay.
to do that. So I'll never do that. Because we don't have a keyboard player. There have been a handful of songs over the years. Like we had a song called "Slip to the Void," where it was basically I remember I programmed it on GarageBand way back in the day
Nice.
and used that. We used that intro, so you could consider that a track. That was the this little keyboard part. So like for a four-piece rock and roll band who doesn't have a keyboard player on stage, we would occasionally pepper something like that in the set. But other than that, we don't. There's no guitars, no bass, no drums, no vocals. None of that is being piped in. We do it. It's a live thing, and once again, that's one of the things I appreciated when I was watching Iron Maiden the other night. It was like clearly these guys were all playing. It was great.
Do you think there's a distinction between older artists and younger artists doing it? Like, for example, if Maiden would have done it, would that have taken away from the show for you, or would you have not cared?
That's a great point because it is a bit of a. I think for guys who came up when we did, there was just something you didn't consider. But
Yeah.
because of technology now, and because now, if you're a band that it's part of your thing. You have this really dense sound and you have to utilize tracks to convey what you conveyed on record. Okay. I can understand that argument.
Yeah.
I feel like for what we do, there's we are like, especially this last record. I mean, we intentionally went in and tried to be very cognizant of not overproducing it. So
Yeah.
there's no point in adding all this other stuff on top of that.